The homeless black man drew a map in the sand and EGYP. What they found changed history in the blazing heat of Egypt. Among tourists and ruins, a homeless black man began drawing strange symbols in the sand. No one cared until an intern noticed that what he was sketching wasn't nonsense. It was a map. And when experts followed it, what they uncovered shattered global history. This man wasn't just lost, he was the key to a forgotten civilization. Stay tuned, because what lies beneath the sand may change everything you thought you knew about Africa, Egypt, and the entire ancient world. Before we dive in, please support us by 1. Subscribe, like and share for more with activating the notification bell. Thank you. In the chaotic heartbeat of Cairo's Giza district, just beyond the well-trodden tourist paths and glimmering pyramid souvenirs, life moved in frenzied circles. Drivers honked, children played in narrow alleys, and hawkers peddled trinkets beneath a sky scorched with sunlight. But at the edge of this modern hustle sat a barefoot black man in rags. He was known only as Orba, homeless man who said little, begged for nothing, and spent every day drawing strange patterns in the sand. He never asked for food or water. He never responded to mockery or questions. His robe hung in tatters, hair grayed and coiled under a crude head wrap. He had no shoes, just a stick and the sand. Children jeered at him. Tourists glanced and moved on. Majnun locals called him the Mad One. But every day, on the same patch of ground near Saqqara, Orba would begin his routine. Slowly, carefully, he etched symbols, lines, and spirals into the sand. Some days they looked like maps, other days like constellations. Some said he was just mimicking the hieroglyphs he had seen on nearby ruins. Others said he was cursed. But one day, a young archaeology student named Malik Carteran, intern from Columbia University, visiting Egypt as part of a summer research grant, stumbled upon Orba's drawings while exploring the outskirts of a dig site. At first, Malik assumed they were just scribbles, but something caught his eye. The shapes had symmetry. The lines weren't random, they followed paths and contours like old trade maps, and more strangely, there were recurring symbols like a code written into the earth. When Malik sketched one of the patterns into his notebook and overlaid it with a terrain map, something clicked. The drawings aligned with undocumented underground features near Saqqara. Malik's professor scoffed at the idea. He's a beggar with a stick, the professor said, nothing more. But Malik wasn't convinced. He returned each day, watching Oba in silence. Eventually he offered him dates and water. Oba took them wordlessly. Then, one morning, Malik knelt beside the man and asked quietly, "Is this a map?" Oba paused, looked up slowly. His voice cracked and foreign. "It's where the forgotten kings sleep." That one sentence haunted Malik. He couldn't sleep, couldn't focus on his assignment. All he could think about was what Oba meant. He showed his notebook to a friend at the Ministry of Antiquities. They cross-referenced ABA sketches with satellite imaging and ground scans. The results were uncanny shapes and lines matching terrain contours and what appeared to be cavities beneath the sand. Orba's drawings weren't fantasy, they were topographical diagrams. But who was this man? Digging into records, Malik discovered something chilling. Oba didn't exist. No passport, no identification, no immigration logs. The earliest mention of him was in a local police report from 8 years ago. A patrol had spotted him wandering barefoot near the desert at dawn. He had no name, just one phrase he kept repeating. "I came for the sleeping ones." When questioned, Oba said he was from a Nigerian village near the Niger River, but even that couldn't be verified. There was no trace of family, tribe, or tribe language registry. He was a ghost. Malik became obsessed, but he followed Oba, took photos of every pattern, transcribed every symbol, and Oba began speaking more always in fragments, never full stories. He spoke of kings who came before the pharaohs, rulers buried in chambers the world had forgotten, no pyramid. Only dust, Oba whispered. They hid them, buried them beneath pride. The professor warned Malik to stop. "Don't chase madness," he warned. "It'll ruin your career." But Malik wasn't chasing madness, he was chasing a map. With ABA's map and government permission. A limited radar scan was approved for the area he indicated. The results, jaw-dropping. A grid of what appeared to be chambers, perfectly aligned. Shaft over 40 feet deep and documented by any previous excavation. Patterns and structures that suggested a man-made network, hidden beneath centuries of sand. Orba's crude sketches had led to a site untouched by time. Soon, a small excavation crew began work under strict supervision. They removed layers of earth until they found something, a limestone slab with foreign inscriptions. The slab was unlike any seen in Egypt. It wasn't inscribed in hieroglyphics, but with ancient proto-writing symbols that suggested an even older civilization. When they finally broke through, a chamber opened. Inside, they found 3 stone sarcophagi. Each was decorated with gold and obsidian, bearing motifs not traditionally Egyptian. Carbon dating revealed something even stranger. The tombs predated the Old Kingdom, but more shocking, the mummies inside were tall, broad-shouldered men with dark features and West African genetic markers. DNA samples later confirmed their sub-Saharan African origin, dating back over 4,000 years. This was not Egyptian royalty. This was something else, a lost African dynasty forgotten, buried, and unclaimed. The story broke like a thunderclap. Malik stood beside Oba as the discovery made global headlines, but Oba, stoic as ever, only said, "You found the first, the others are deeper." Within 48 hours, media trucks flooded the excavation site. Journalists from CNN, BBC, and Al Jazeera arrived, demanding interviews. Social media went wild. Homeless prophet reveals hidden dynasty. Africa's forgotten kings unearthed in Egypt, led by a man with no name. Oba became a mystery. People couldn't stop talking about, was he a genius, a mystic, a time traveler? Some conspiracy theorists said he was a reincarnated ruler. Some called him the Black Oracle. Others accused Egypt of covering up the truth for decades. But academics skeptical at first began to fold. The evidence was irrefutable. Moloch, once dismissed, was now a global voice. In press conferences, he stressed that this wasn't just a discovery of a tomb, but of a history erased. For centuries, he told one reporter, the world believed Egypt was an isolated miracle, but this shows us that Africa was the mother of empires, connected, complex, and powerful long before Europe set foot here. Meanwhile, Oba refused fame. He didn't want money, interviews, or recognition. He asked only for a small space near the tomb to sleep in peace. When the government offered to house him in a luxury apartment in Cairo, he declined. "They're still not ready," he whispered. But the sand remembers. One night Malik found Oba kneeling under the moonlight, drawing again. This time, it was a new map. "There are 3 more, Oba said softly. "One is near water, one under stone, one near fire." Then he handed Malik the drawing. Oba passed away 3 months later. He was found at dawn, sleeping beneath the same date palm tree near Saqqara, his stick still in hand, a half-drawn symbol in the sand. The world mourned him. Egypt held a national ceremony. Dignitaries from 11 African nations came to pay their respects. A special tomb was carved in Oba's honor next to the chamber he helped uncover. They called him the Sun. UNESCO formed a coalition to continue the excavations under a new initiative, Project Walker, dedicated to uncovering hidden African dynasties across North and West Africa. University history textbooks across the world revised their ancient civilization chapters. Documentaries were filmed. Films were optioned. One studio even offered Malik a $5 million deal to adapt the story, but Malik declined. Instead, he spent the next 2 years decoding Oba's second map that had led him into the Nubian mountains, where another underground anomaly was discovered, eerily similar to the first. But Malik's final message in an interview would echo around the world. Oba wasn't lost. He was ahead of us. He remembered something humanity forgot. His drawings weren't madness, they were memories passed through generations. And if we want to know who we truly are, we better start listening to the sand. As for the last map, it remains unsearched. Oba said it lay near fire. Some believe it means the Sahara, others think it's volcanic terrain, but wherever it is, one thing's clear. Oba wasn't just a homeless man. He was a historian the world ignored.